Oh, okay. This is my first live, and I am going to be showing my makeup routine. Hopefully, the camera is situated okay. All right, so I just have my headband on because I want to keep my hair out of the way, and I just primed my face using the Jane Iredale primer. I'm literally almost done. I think there's like one use left. You can kind of see there's still a little bit there. But that is what is on my face. It kind of just helps like with the redness, which I really like. And now I'm just going to go in and prime my eyelids. And the way I prime my eyelids is I don't use, oh, what's that? This will, I don't know what that means. Okay, so I'm just going to prime my eyelids using primer. I don't use eye primer. I actually use concealer, and the NYX Serum Concealer isn't my favorite. And I have this in the shade Vanilla, I believe. Yep, I have this in the shade Vanilla. And we're just gonna pop that on. And I'm just gonna blend it out with my Real Techniques sponge. All right, and then to seal that so it doesn't crease, I'm using the LYS powder, and I have this in the shade Translucent. Ooh, what brush do I want to use? I have this Morphe X Jaclyn Hill brush. Gosh, what a blast from the past it is for Jaclyn Hill makeup and collaborations. Isn't it crazy how long it's been? It's literally from like the 2016 era when makeup was really, really fun and big on YouTube. All those beauty influencers that we used to follow. I used to follow Tati Westbrook. Who else? Jackie Aina, she was also really big on here, but I feel like they've all kind of just like migrated over to TikTok. All right, I always do my eyes first because I don't really want to get like sparkles and eyeshadow on my face or anything. So I'm going to be using the Makeup by Mario Ethereal Eyes in Original. And I literally just use like the beigey shade just to like go over my eyelids. It kind of just like smooths out the base a little bit for when I go in with eyeshadow. But I do want to preface, I am not very good at eyeshadow. I'm not very good at makeup. This is just all fun and games, you know? So that's on there nicely. I always use, oh, let's just fall out. I always use like the lighter shades in the palette because I'm not very good at eyeshadow. If it's too dark, it's going to be noticeable. So I always use like the lightest shades. So I think I'm going to go in with this shade here. And I'm just going to put that all in the crease. Just pop that in the crease. I'm also going to be going for a nice walk tomorrow morning, and I really, really hope that the weather holds up because it has been doom and gloom for a couple weeks now, but yesterday it was really sunny, but today is not sunny, and I really need it to be at least not raining tomorrow. That is all I need it to do. Not rain, so I can go on a hot girl walk with my hubby, and then we're going to go get breakfast after, which I'm very, very excited for. And that's what I kind of like about the off season with bodybuilding is you kind of have that flexibility where you're not super, super strict. You still want to make sure that you're hitting your macros and calories and clean eating like majority of the time, but it's like kind of like that 80-20 rule kind of vibes, you know? All right, now that that's done, I kind of want to put a shimmer on now. I think I'm going to put that one in the middle, and I usually just use my fingers. And it kind of gives like a really nice wet look. And it's not too intense, not too crazy, just something nice and subtle. Because again, I am not very good at eyeshadow at all, which is why I always go super, super simple. So that way, if something doesn't look great, it's not that noticeable. All right. Yeah, see, no, simple. There's literally nothing much going on. But yeah, so that was the Ethereal Eyes palettes by Makeup by Mario in the original. All right, so now we can start off with the base. So I, at the moment, am mixing two foundations. I usually really love to mix my foundations because one, it's really hard to actually find a foundation that suits my skin tone. Because I have olive skin, but I'm fair, it's really hard to find light olive shades. Also, peek my painting in the background. Who is she? I did that like a paint and sip. So I'm using the L'Oreal True Match Super Blendable Foundation in the shade 05N Neutral Undertone, and then I mix it in with the Miracle Flawless Skin Foundation by Emco Beauty. And as you can see, the shades are a little bit different, but when I mix them together, I feel like it kind of suits my skin tone perfectly. I also find the Emco Beauty one on the thicker side, so mixing it in with the L'Oreal one kind of doesn't make it look as thick. Because the L'Oreal one is kind of like a thinner formula, so I feel like just putting them together gives me like the perfect consistency in what I want in our foundation. And I'm using the Rare Beauty foundation brush. So I always use a brush when I am initially putting on my foundation, and then I go in with my Real Techniques Beauty Blender to smooth it out. And you want to make sure that you're really getting into those crevices so that way it looks blended in and you kind of just don't have like a cutoff where your neck is, because I feel like that's what a lot of people do wrong. They really don't go into those nitty-gritty areas. But this is just a nice, really thin layer. Okay. And then I'm going over with my sponge. But I hit up a body day at the gym this morning and it was such a good session. I felt like I used muscles that I haven't used before, which was really lovely. Yeah, I feel like it's just like, oh, I am looking super pasty in my monitor, but I promise you, it does not look that light in real life. But we are going to obviously use some bronzer and blush and highlighter just to, obviously give some color to my face. But yeah, I feel like that's a really nice base to start off with. Okay. All right, base is done. Well, not done, but like the foundation is done. Also, these are super cheap. I believe the Emco Beauty one is a dupe of the It Cosmetics CC cream because, the entire brand is based off duping stuff. And like this is also super cheap as well. It's from the drugstore. So both of these foundations are probably under like $30, which is fantastic. But yeah, I have like a mix of like drugstore and high-end makeup. Like I obviously shop from Mecca and Sephora, but I also sometimes, get my stuff from Priceline. But what are we doing next? We are doing concealer next. So let's pop some concealer under these eye bags. And again, just going in with my NYX Serum Concealer. The way I do this is I put it on my itty bitty concealer brush. And then I put some under my eyes. I also put it down the center of my nose, at the top between my eyebrows, and then under my chinny chin. And then I like to leave it there for just a little bit. What bronzer am I going to use? Probably Makeup by Mario. Ooh, let's get this other stuff out. Do I want to use Rhode? Let's use the Rhode blush. I'm going to use that in a smidge. Oh, and I also picked up the new Rhode Glazing Highlighter Milk. It's the Highlight Milk Multi-Purpose Luminizer, and I got this in the shade 2, I believe. So it's like this champagne-y kind of color, which is really beautiful. So I picked this up from Mecca a couple weeks ago, and I don't really know how to like use this too well, but I think you're supposed to put it all over your face. It's kind of like a, what should we call it? Kind of like a primer, like a highlighting primer. So I have that. All right, let's now blend out this concealer. Ready. Right, now that that's blended out, we can actually, I'm not going to put on powder yet because I am using cream products. I don't want to put powder on just yet because sometimes if you're trying to put cream products on top of powder, it's not a vibe. Alrighty, so now we're going to put on our bronzer. So I'm using the Makeup by Mario Sculpt Transforming Skin Enhancer in Lights Medium. As you can see, I love this product because I have Hit's pan on it, and I'm going to be using this brush. It's actually from e.l.f. And this bronzing brush is fantastic. And we're just going to start bronzing the face to start adding color in. So I just want to get it on top of my forehead. And then we obviously want to sculpt out those cheekbones a little bit. Can't forget the cheekbones. I remember when I was in high school, when I was just getting into makeup, I would never use bronzer or blush. I would literally just put foundation on my face. So I looked pale as heck because I would just put on this foundation and all I put was foundation and highlighter. So, and I feel like that was really the vibe back in 2016. There just wasn't, blush just wasn't a thing. Whereas now we definitely have that blush blindness. Like when I think of blush, I kind of think of Sabrina Carpenter because she has that real intense blush, but it looks so good on her. So she's definitely like my blush inspo. So, alrighty, now that we've got some color on my face, like you really can't see, but I promise you there is bronzer there, okay? I promise you. All right, so now I'm going to be going in with my Rhode blush. I have used this before. I just like to keep things in their boxes for some reason. And I have this in Tan Line. So we finally got access to Rhode in Australia after it being like available in the US for like a year. But this is the shade Tan Line, so it's kind of just like a nudie kind of blush color. And the way I like to apply my blush is so it's not too intense when I put it directly onto my face. I always warm it up in the palm of my hand. And then I use this e.l.f., another e.l.f. brush. I use my e.l.f. brush. It's kind of like this stippling brush. There's my hand, and then I just warm it up in the palm of my hand, and I feel like it distributes very nicely onto the brush. And then it goes on my face. I really do like these Rhode blushes because I feel like they give you like that really nice glow. Because I'm not into matte products. I really love the glowy products. So that's why I always like to use cream bronzers and blushes just because I feel like they blend into the face much nicer than using powder in my opinion. But I do have super, super dry skin. So that's why cream products and dewy products do work well for me. And my face doesn't look too oily because of it. Okay. And there is my blush. She is on. But I do just want to quickly talk about, give you just a little bit update in my life. So I am currently over halfway into my building season for bodybuilding. So I am a bodybuilder and I competed in my first season last year. And I was like, I'm only ever going to do this once. I had this idea in my head that I was only ever going to compete once. And that's really all I wanted to do, just to like tick that itch that I was feeling. And it is a very expensive sport as well. And I also did travel interstate for it, which also added extra costs to my first experience. And I just felt like I didn't bring the package that I really wanted to bring because I didn't take my off season too seriously. And I also didn't have too big of a build to begin with. I only built for 5 months. And within that 5 months, I did take some shortcuts just because I was feeling super uncomfortable. And because of that, I actually didn't get the physique that I wanted when I was up on stage. So now that I kind of know what to expect, I kind of know what to do. And I also know that, the off season is where the physique is built. I just want to make sure that I'm taking it seriously this time. So that's why I was like, you know what, I'm going to try this again, but I'm going to take a longer off season, so a year instead. And then with that, I'll be able to have a more successful off season and building season. So that way, when I step on stage next year for my second ever competition, I will know that I did everything in my power to make sure that I look the way that I looked. And I don't want to leave any room for doubt. Whereas last year I stepped on stage and there was doubt in my mind. My goal for this off season is when I step on stage, there is no doubt. So it's like I did everything that I possibly could have. All right, so now that my blush and bronzer is on, we are going to be setting the under eyes. So I'm using the Huda Beauty Cherry Blossom Cake in Easy Bake, and I absolutely love this powder. If you're on the lookout for a fantastic loose powder, Huda Beauty is where it's at. And I just have these powder puffs. I honestly got these off Temu. It's my powder puff, and I always put it in the base of the lid. And then I press my powder puff into that. And under the eyes they go. Just to make sure that is set on nicely. And this is a very long-lasting powder as well. A lot of makeup artists use this powder. Like I'm pretty sure when I was competing and because I paid for hair, makeup, tan, etc. when I did my comps, all 3 comps that I did, they use the Huda Beauty powder. And I also like to put some around my mouth because I feel like when you smile, those smile lines, they can definitely start to crease things up. Okay. But yeah, so I'm 8 months into my building phase, and I start prep in November. So not too long to go, but also I'm in that stage where I'm really feeling uncomfortable in my body. And I just have to remember that every phase has a purpose. The purpose of this phase is to obviously build as much muscle as possible, which I really feel like I'm doing. Like I'm actually still holding onto some lines, which is great. So that way I'm not gaining unnecessary fat, if you know what I mean. Alrighty. So now we can start to sweep away that powder. And what I really like about the Huda Beauty powder as well is because it does have a pink tinge, I feel like I can set my blush without it getting rid of the color. Okay, so this is what we're looking like. We can see that blush, which is beautiful. Alrighty, what is next? I'm having a bit of a blank. Oh yeah, all that's left is some highlighter. All right, this is probably a highlighter I definitely should literally not be putting on my face because, guys, this is actually 10 years old. I got this in 2016. So this is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Amrezy highlighter. What a blast from the freaking past. Holy dooly. This has been what is like one of those time capsule moments. So I always put highlighter on my inner corner, and then I use my ABH highlighter brush to just pop some highlighter on, and there we are, just on top of my cheekbones, just above my blush. We want to make sure that we are glowing from space, baby. And I always like to put some on my nose. Cutie. Alrighty, and then what I also like to do to make sure that it blends in nicely, I go back in with my blush brush, just whatever is left on the brush, and I combine like the highlighter and blush together just so it kind of blends in nice and seamlessly. And then of course we can't finish off without some setting spray. So I'm using the NYX Dewy Setting Spray, and let's pop this all over my face. We're not done yet though. I just like to do my setting spray before I do my mascara and eyebrows so it doesn't leak. And then I have this little fan and I just dry my face with it. And then we can finish off with lashes and brows, lips, and we're done. Just like that. Oh, such a gloomy day. Oh, actually the sun is starting to come out, which is really lovely. So In Australia, it is winter at the moment, so we don't have hot girl summers when everybody else is. Our hot girl summers are Christmas time. Woo! Alrighty. For mascara, I really love using brown mascara. I have been off black mascara, so I only use brown now, and I'm using the Towel 28, and it's the color Drift. It's the Make Waves mascara. I just feel like it's less intense when you use a brown. Like, it's still a dark mascara, but it's just not as intense, especially like with like a really light base. I don't like going in too dark. Oh, alrighty. And I have really short eyelashes, which is a shame. I really wish I had some nice fluttery lashes like some males do. So annoying that some boys have these luscious lashes. It's like, what did they do to deserve them? All right, so now I'm going in with my brows. So I do my brows very lightly. So I'm just using the Jane Nadal Pure Brow Shaping Pencil. So it's got like a thicker, it's not really thin, it's got like a thicker pencil, and then you have the spoolie on the other side. So what I do is I literally just brush, just give it some shape. I literally haven't got my brows done professionally since before COVID. So it's literally been like 6 years since I've had my eyebrows professionally done. I kind of just like literally just pluck them as I see fit now, because that's just one expense that I don't have to worry about. You know, I don't get my nails done. I don't really do anything but activewear and gym stuff is where my obsession lies. So it's good that I don't have obsessions everywhere in my life. All right, so now I'm going in with the Brow Freeze. So this is from Anastasia Beverly Hills. Such a great gel. I freaking love this stuff. So you literally just place the flat side so that way it goes all over your brow, and then you use the spoolie side just to coat them, and then you kind of shape them while doing this, and then they literally stay in place all day. I freaking love this thing so much. Okay. Alrighty. Brows are done. Mascara is done. Now literally all that's left is lips, and I have no idea what to use. I used to have such a big makeup collection. Like, it was actually ridiculous how many lipsticks and everything I have, but now I really dwindled it down, which is great. All right, for lip liner, I'm going to be using my NYX Cosmetics lip liner, and this is in Peekaboo Neutral. This was literally $5 off Amazon, guys. Like, good makeup doesn't have to be expensive. And this is kind of like a My Lips But Better kind of shade. Oh, such a great lip liner. So as you can see, I really do have like a combination of different brands, high-end and drugstore. And now I'm going to go in with lipstick, and I'm going to go in with this Charlotte Tilbury JK Magic. It's like a really like neutral lipstick. You can kind of see I'm really getting towards the end of this, which is great because I've also had this for a very long time. There is like definitely makeup in my collection that I definitely should not be using. So it's like a really nice neutral color. I always like to put gloss on as well, but this is a lip oil from Vive. So this is a Lip Dew in Rosa. I got this off Cult Beauty. So again, just like a really nice neutral shade. And it's not sticky like a traditional gloss is, which is why I really like lip oils. And it smells very nice. So I only have 2 lip oils in my collection. My other one is from Towel. It's a really thin formula, which is great. All right, let's take off my headband. All right, guys, and that is my makeup routine. My just nothing too fancy. I'm not a makeup artist. I'm not really great at makeup. I'm just a average gal who just likes to do her makeup sometimes, and this is what she's looking like. Thank you for watching. Bye.